The Nanoflare 700 and 800 are very similar in many ways, from the maximum recommended string tension being almost identical, the price almost being the same at around £200 recommended retail price, and both have the sonic flare system. So how do you decide between these two rackets? Well, there are crucial differences that I'm going to outline in this video, and hopefully I can help you decide which racket is better for you. Let's jump straight into the video. So right now we're at St. Paul's Cathedral on this cold, rainy and wet morning. Well, to be honest, it's not like an ideal weather for filming, and I know I haven't put out a video for quite some time and I can't really delay it for much longer. Right now I'm on half term from school, so I've got time to make it. I've actually planned to make this video and come out and film it with my friend on this day, thinking it'll be good weather because I checked the forecast. But if you live in the UK, you'll know the weather is always terrible. Look at this. I can't believe it, but hey, let's just look on a good side. You know, this is the first time I've ever filmed a video in the rain. I guess it will just be a good mix up to this channel. So here we have the Nanoflare 700. This racket actually was released in March at the All England's 2019. Most people actually prefer even to heavy balance rackets, and this racket is in fact head light. So it was quite a big change, and also this racket had a medium flex, and to a lot of people that was actually unappealing. Actually, in my opinion, in the beginning, I checked it out at the All England. I thought it was like a good quality build, but it wasn't for me. And then I got the opportunity to try it right now and make a review on it. And after some testing, here is my opinion. But before I give you my opinion, let me give you a quick overview of this model. This racket is the 4U G4 edition. So 4U is actually slightly lighter than the typical 3U that you're probably used to, but this racket doesn't come in 3U. It comes in 4U and 5U. 5U is actually much lighter than 4U, and most people would not be able to get used to that very quickly. So I would say, in my opinion, if you're picking up this racket, check it out in the 4U edition. So what does the G4 mean? You probably know already. G4 is actually a slightly larger grip size than G5. G5 is the one that I typically use, but however, G4 feels fine to me, and I really like this grip size actually. This racket is actually more headlight than the Nanoflare 800. If you haven't checked out that review, make sure you press the top right of the screen right now to check it out. So as you guys probably might know, most of the new badminton rackets nowadays, they're very similar. And the technology, especially in the new Yonex ones, they share a lot of the same things, like the new nanometric materials or like the new built-in T-joints and stuff like that. So I'm not going to waste your time by saying all of those things again and again. So like in my Nanoflare 800 video, I just went on to the points that is new. So in this video, I'm just going to glance over the points that is different from the Nanoflare 800 compared to this racket. This racket still has the M40X material that the Nanoflare 800 has. However, there's a slight difference in the way it's used. There's less of it here, meaning that there's slightly a bit more flex to it, so which means that it's slightly easier to use and you can generate power easier. However, it means that the actual rigidity of it and the solid punch is actually reduced. Hence, actually the output of the power in the end is less than the Nanoflare 800. So you might be thinking, how does that make sense? You basically made 2 points that sound contradicting, but no, it isn't. The first point that I made is that this racket is slightly easier to generate power, so if you mishit it, it is slightly easier and more forgiving to hit the sweet spot. But the actual output of the maximum strength of your smash, for example, it is in fact less than a Nanoflare 800. So let's bring it back to the point that this racket has a medium flex shaft. So as you guys know, most of the rackets nowadays are stiff shafts. So stiff shafts give you control, they give you a good touch, and they give you good power if you have got a good technique. Medium stiff shafts and more flexible ranges tend to be a bit more forgiving once again. So if you're a beginner player or intermediate player that doesn't always have like the perfect technique to hit the sweet spot every time, a medium flex shaft can just help you get a bit more of that power and a bit more length to your shots, just even if you hit it slightly wrong. So when you're choosing a racket, it's all very subjective. So one person might like a racket, or one person might hate a racket, but it doesn't mean that the racket is bad if I don't like it. So normally, I personally use head-heavy, stiff shaft rackets. However, I did really enjoy the Nanoflare 800. In the end, I still found myself going back to the Astrox 88 series because that is my favorite series and rackets overall. And with this racket, at first, I found it is much better than I expected it to be. Like before I even tried this racket and I just looked at the spec sheets, I was just thinking, this racket is gonna have no power, no control whatsoever, and it's just gonna be a shambles. However, once I tried it, with the new M40X material, they're able to make this headlight racket better than every other headlight racket that I've tested in the past before, other than the Nanoflare 800 in my opinion. This racket gives you decent power outage for most games, so typically I actually recommend this racket for 4-court mixed doubles players anyway, so this is not like a heavy smasher, but this is enough to give you a good hit if you want to put it down quickly. This racket excels in the speed and the agility that it can move, so if you're at the front of the court, oh my god, my hair is so wet right now. Yeah, so if you're at the front of the court doing tight net shots, quick net kills, or drives to press down on a rally, this racket really excels in it, and the handling is even better than the Nanoflare 800 because this is for you first of all, and also the headlight balance is actually more headlight, like I said, than the Nanoflare 800. This racket, in my opinion, is not for advanced players. So personally, I'm a very attacking and heavy smashing player, so I prefer the Astrox 88 series because it is just what it's built for, and it's really great for doubles. Like the handling for the Astrox 88 is really good. However, if you're a player that looks to dominate with quick handling and just mainly at the forecourt, I would say, then this racket will really excel. But if you're still looking for a headlight racket with really good handling, but you still want to get a bit of smashing power from the back, then I would say the Nanoflare 800 is a bit more suited to you. So with this racket, you know, when you first pick it up, there's one thing you're immediately going to notice. First of all, the side is extremely wide. It's by far the widest racket I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of balance rackets. So you might be thinking, oh, isn't that bad for air resistance? Well, wait until you see the front. When you feel it, it is like so sharp. It almost feels like a blade. And when you swing this racket, it makes a sound that is different compared to any other racket. Well, rackets normally have that swoosh sound. This literally sounds like a saber. Like. And the first time I swung it, I was like, whoa. And the feeling is quite weird. However, this motion is typically better for example like tap shots and drives, which this racket excels at. But whenever you're trying to do heavy smashes and quick overhead shots, when you need to have like a rotation where the side part comes into play into air resistance, then you do feel a bit more drag in that sense. But I just say this racket is not for the back, as I said before. This racket comes in 2 colors, the red and also the blue color. Personally, I prefer the red because it just looks a bit more fierce, but I do know a lot of people like the blue color. It just looks a bit more serene and calm. Luckily, this racket is a matte color. As you guys probably know, I love matte colors because they just tend to last a bit longer than glossy colors in my opinion. As I've basically touched on the point that this racket is not like the perfect racket for me personally, I do think it is great for other players, as demonstrated by what I'm about to show you. So basically, I don't want to give you a review where it's just all one-sided. So like right now, if I don't prefer it as much as my other rackets, I want to see what other people say of it. So I actually reached out to my good friend Josh. He's a top quality player. He played high level like before, and he's still a high level player now. So I wanted his opinion on it, and here is the clip.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm an ex-Welsh national player, and I'm here in London. So tonight I've been asked to try one of these rackets. It's very headlight. It's quite nice for doubles actually. When you're defending and when you're pushing, it's got a really nice touch, nice feel to it. But I think the only problem is when you're smashing, it just doesn't have that head-heavy feel that I'm used to. So it's good for clips, but when you're doing a 100% smash, the feel's not really there. I'd say probably intermediate, and if you're an all-rounder or a more defensive player, then I would definitely check out this racket. If you're more attacking, I think it's probably worth checking out some of the head-heavy rackets because you just get a bit more of a ping when you're trying to get it down.
Also, I'd like to show you some test clips of me playing with this racket and also Josh playing with the racket. Of course, he's a much better player than me and he can smash a lot harder than me with any other racket. And still with him, as you can see, he said that, oh, this racket doesn't have as much power as like other rackets, but it's still a great racket overall. So I know there are some singles players that are looking for rackets out there, and you might have seen, oh, Rachana Intanon, who is a women's singles player, is using this racket. Yep, I do think for female players this racket is actually more recommended because of the light nature of it and the quick handling, and in female doubles and singles you don't even need that kind of super smash because it's more to do with consistency in those games. Personally, when I use this in men's singles, I just don't feel like it does have the stability as much as my other rackets, I think even the Nanoflare 800 has a bit more stability than this in singles, and the Nanoflare 800 doesn't have the best stability for singles overall. I'm gonna try keep this video to like a kind of short and concise video where you can just look at it and just make up your decision. If you have any inquiries on picking rackets, feel free to comment it down below and I'll try to reply. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at ken_poison, and there you can ask me questions via DM. Feel free to suggest me any new video ideas. I know I don't upload that frequently, but I try to make it quality over quantity, so I don't want to be putting out loads of garbage videos. And before I get any more soaked than this, look at my hair now, and any more cold actually, I'd like to end this video by thanking all my Patreons for supporting me all along. I know it's like I haven't been exactly extremely active on Patreon for quite some time. However, I want to make a return on there and actually post some videos that I do enjoy, because me and Fifi were starting to film again and I do want to upload some exclusive content on there. So if you want to support me and just keep this channel running, you can make the tiniest donations of even $1 a month and it will just help a lot. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. So here we have Anthony Tanrola, and I've actually given him a few hits to try this Nanoflare 700 out. So what is your opinion on this racket?
It's right.